Hello, knowledge seekers. Welcome to Remedial Tutorial Academy. In this video, I'm going to cover how to order rational numbers. So we will take a look at a list of rational numbers and put them in order from least to greatest or greatest to least. Now remember, when it comes to number lines, if we look at 0, positive numbers are to the right of 0 and negative numbers are to the left of 0. And keep in mind, as far as moving along a number line, numbers increase in value as we move to the right and decrease in value as we move to the left. So when we order rational numbers using a number line, the number furthest to the left will be the least, and the number furthest to the right will be the greatest. Let's jump into number 1, where we have 1 4/10, -2 3/5, 0, 9/4, and -1 5/10. Let's start with 1 4/10. Well, 1 4/10 is just 1/10 less than 1 1/2, 1 5/10. So let's put 1 4/10 right here. Next, we have -2 3/5. So we have a mixed number involving a fraction. Now we can place this as is as a fraction, but it's helpful to have everything in the same form. So everything in fractional form or everything in decimal form. Remember, fractions can be written as decimals and decimals can be written as fractions. Let's write this in decimal form along with any other fractions, since the number line has decimals. Now -2 3/5 equals -2 6/10 as the decimal. We divide the numerator 3 by the denominator 5 to get that fraction to a decimal. So top divided by bottom, 3 divided by 5. If you need more help with converting fractions to decimals, check the description for a link to my video on that. Now, as far as the number line, -2 6/10 is to the left of 0. It's negative. -2 6/10 is less than -2 5/10. So it's going to be to the left, and it's only 1/10 less, so it's pretty close. Let's put -2 6/10 right here, and let's write this in the original fractional form, so -2 3/5. Again, in decimal form, -2 6/10. Moving on, we have 0, which is right here. After 0, we have 9/4, which is an improper fraction. Let's convert it to a mixed number by dividing the numerator, 9, by the denominator, 4. So how many whole groups of 4 in 9? And let's do this to the side here. So how many whole groups of 4 in 9? Well, 2. That's our whole number of the mixed number. That gets us to 8. So we have a remainder of 1. That's the numerator of the fractional part. And then we keep the denominator of 4 the same. So 2 1/4. So this is 2 1/4. Let's write this as a decimal. Well, 1/4 is 0.25. 25 hundredths as a decimal. So this is 2.25. So 2 25 hundredths. Now, as far as the number line, 2 25 hundredths is going to be in between 2 and 2 5/10. So let's place 2 25 hundredths right here, or 2 1/4, and we will write the original improper fraction.
And then lastly, we have -1 5/10, which is 1 1/2. This is between -1 and -2. We are to the left of 0. Here we have a negative, so 1 5/10 is right here. Now that everything is on the number line, we can order these from least to greatest. The number furthest to the left on the number line is the least, the lowest in value, and then we can work our way right. So -2 3/5 is the least, then we have 1 5/10, then 0, then 1 4/10, and then the greatest is 9/4. Now, as I wrote those rational numbers in order, I wrote the original form of everything. Let's move on to number 2, where we have -3 9/10, 4, 3/8, -2, and 3 75 hundredths, -5/3, and then 1 7/12. And for this number line, we don't have the halves mark, so this is a little bit of a different look. We will start with -3 9/10. Now remember, it can be helpful to have everything in the same form, either decimal or fractional. Some situations may work better with all fractions and some with all decimals. And if we are given a number line showing decimals or a number line showing fractions, it may be a good idea to change according to that. So really, there are a number of possibilities that we need to be prepared for. So keep in mind, we can always change to all decimals or all fractions if necessary. It can make it easier to compare and order. So for number 2, let's do fractional form for any decimals to show what that looks like. So negative 3 and 9/10, negative 3.9 looks like this in fractional form. So 9/10. As far as the number line, this is negative, so we are to the left of 0. And it's going to be in between negative 3 and negative 4. Now, negative 3 and 9/10 is only 1/10 away from negative 4. It's close. So let's put this close to negative 4, and this will be 3 and 9/10. I'll write it in the original decimal form. Next, let's move on to 4, which is positive, so it's to the right of 0. It's right here. After 4, we have 3/8, which is positive, so to the right of 0. And it's going to be in between 0 and 1. Now, 4/8, 4 over 8 is 1/2, so this is a little less than that, less than 1/2. So let's put 3/8 right here, a little less than 1/2. Next, we have negative 2, which is to the left of 0, it's negative. Negative 2 is right here. Next, we have 3 and 7/500, so let's convert this to fractional form. 7/500 written as a fraction is 75 over 100, but we can simplify this. The greatest common factor between 75 and 100 is 25, so let's divide both of these by 25. 75 divided by 25 is 3. 100 divided by 25 is 4. The greatest common factor between 3 and 4 is 1, so we are in simplest form. 75/7500 equals 3/4 as a simplified fraction. So this is 3 and 3/4. Anytime you see 75, that's going to be 3/4 in fractional form. So 3 and 3/4 is going to be in between 3 and 4. It's greater than 3, but less than 4. More specifically, it's greater than 3.5, but less than 4. It's right in between 3.5 and 4. So let's put 3 and 3/4 right here, or 3 and 7/500. Next, we have negative 5/3. So an improper fraction, let's convert it to a mixed number. We need to divide the numerator, negative 15, by the denominator, 3. So this is going to be 5, and we don't have a remainder. So this is just negative 5, which is to the left of 0 and right here on the number line. Now I'll put the original improper fraction, and then lastly we have 1 and 7/12. So this is in between 1 and 2. Now 1 and 6/12 is 1 and 1/2, so this is greater than 1 and 1/2 just by 1/12 though. So they're close. Let's put 1 and 7/12 right here. So 1 and 7/12. So again, just greater than 1 and 6/12, which is 1 and 1/2. Now we need to order from greatest to least. So the greatest is going to be the furthest to the right on the number line, and then we can work our way left. So the greatest is 4, then we have 3 and 7/500, then 1 and 7/12, then 3 and 8/10, and then negative 2, then 3 and 9/10, and then the least is negative 53. And now those rational numbers are in order from greatest to least. So there you have it. There's how to order rational numbers using a number line. I hope that helped. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, peace.